Hello, everyone. Thank you for introducing yourselves. I see a few of my friends and clients on the line. That's excited. I am also a personal business success mentor. So, of course, I've invited all my clients and everybody on my email list to get here, which is probably how you got here. This is exciting, again, because it's the first one of the year. So we're going to get started in just about 1 minute. I do want to honor everyone's time, because as entrepreneurs, I know we have 100 different things fighting for this same little time period that I've asked for. So I am honored and thank you for showing up here. We will get started in just about a minute. Hello and welcome, everybody. It is 3 o'clock on the dot, and again, in an effort to honor your time and your commitment to be here, I want to stick to a strict time schedule. Sorry, that's a little bit of a tongue twister for me. And first of all, what I'd really like to do is welcome you and thank you for joining me. I do just want to honor you for taking this training and making it a priority. It really does show your commitment and your dedication to your success. And what I'd really like to do right now before I get started is confirm that you can hear me nice and clear. I do have a headset on and I'm hardwired to the system. So just want to make sure you can hear me. Hey, Jan. So I'm taking that as a yes. You can hear. So excellent. I'll continue moving forward. And so again, your commitment to show up here and your dedication just tells me a lot about your desire for success. And I don't want you to worry about so much taking notes. I am going to send you the slides and the video of this presentation. And I also hope that you have my gift in hand, or at least accessible, that one-page business planner. It really is a great tool, and I'm going to be going over it at a high level. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Welcome for your feedback. I appreciate it. And this tool is really what's going to help you take that inspired action so you can dive in and achieve big results this year. So let's get this moving. So again, welcome. During our time together, I'm going to share with you what priorities make the difference between surviving and thriving in your business by sharing the 3 priorities we all must execute on for success. I'm also going to share with you how to build momentum through action as we turn your dreams or your goals, whichever terminology you prefer to use, into practical action. And last but not least, we're going to talk about what you can do to create a step-by-step agenda that is going to empower you and help you feel like you're doing more through your days. And someone is asking me about the one-page business planner, and it was attached to the confirmation email. If you did not get it, that's okay. I have images of it, and I will be sure to send it out along with the recordings. That went out twice today, just so you know, once about 11:30 and once about 2:45 today, okay? Excellent. So during this training, I'm literally going to give you the gift of time, right? That is my promise to you. But first, I want to see if this sounds like you. Are you tired of doing it all and feeling like it's harder than it needs to be? I don't know about you, but I know that was me probably about 4 years ago when I was going nuts in my business. I didn't understand how it is that some people could seem to achieve success so easily and get through their days and knock things off their to-do list, but I felt like I was just spinning my wheels, lost in busyness. Or do you wish you had a simple plan to help you focus on doing what you need to do so that you could do what you want to do to move your business forward? You know, again, this is one thing that I know I'm not alone. In fact, the majority of my clients come to me for help with online marketing because that happens to be my specialty. However, we always deal with productivity. I can't tell you how many times we start off a session talking about them not getting something done and the struggle they have with it. And then we end up talking about productivity and creating boundaries and triggers to help them really manage their time. So again, this is just something that I see as a common problem when I'm working with people. See, and this is no mistake, and I want you to know that you're not alone, because 80% of businesses fail within the first 18 months. And this is a statistic that I got from Bloomberg.com. And I have to admit, this was kind of scary for me when I learned about it. And I've already reached this critical goal of, 18 months several years ago. But I have one business that's 10 years old. I have another business that's 4 years old. And then my mentoring business, which is about 2 years old. And I can tell you, as I look at these statistics, they're really scary to me. But we're going to change all that with a simple shift in how we consciously plan our time and our days. And that's really what we're here to talk about today. But first, I want to share with you what those 5 things are so that you clearly understand and stay away from them. So these are the 5 reasons why businesses fail. The first reason is people are not communicating effectively, meaning they're not really sharing their message. People don't understand the full idea of what their business is about or what types of problems they solve. They're also not communicating their value, really just telling people why they need what you offer, right? So as service entrepreneurs or service-based entrepreneurs, it's essential that people understand how it is you help them so that they want to invest in what you're offering. Otherwise, your business is just not going to be successful. Pretty clear and simple. The other issue is that we're just not communicating at all, meaning we don't show up to the conversation. We don't tell them that we're creating amazing content. And I suspect there's a reason for this. And a few times it's because we don't know what to say or we don't have the courage to say it. So ask yourself, are you communicating? Are you telling people why they need to hire you, how you help them, and are you telling them everything in a clear, concise manner so that they understand what you're really saying? The last 2 reasons why businesses fail is because we're not very good at moving on. And this is really about dysfunction. When something is not working, we don't let it go. Hello, Julia. Thank you so much for joining us. So that's a big thing. We need to see when things are not working in our business. And I'm not saying don't give things a fair shot, because of course you need to. But if you're doing something for 6 months and it just doesn't seem to be getting any traction and you're honestly working it and doing the things that you need to do, you need to let it go and move on. Figure out another way to get that done. Go back to the drawing board. And the last thing is that you're not connected. And this happens a lot to entrepreneurs. When we start our business, we are so inspired. Thank you, Shannon. Yep, I'm so glad you recognized this. I'm so happy that this is resonating already. So again, as I was just saying, is that we're not connected, meaning that we lose the inspiration for our business. It starts to take control of our lives, and all of a sudden it's fighting for competition for our time with our family and even our joy, eventually leaving us depleted and with no energy, and we get disconnected from our business. We lose the passion, and when a new inquiry comes in, it's exhausting rather than exciting for us, and that is the sad part here. We don't want that. We don't want to get to a point where we're not enjoying our business anymore. And through this whole process that I'm going to share with you today, it really is about creating a business that your life loves. So Maybe you know me, maybe you don't, but I just want to take a brief moment to introduce myself formally to you. My name is Carmen Perez, and I am the Well-Being Messenger. That is my brand moniker because, as you can imagine, Carmen Perez is a very, very common name. In fact, it's even my mother-in-law's name. And I am a very successful service-based entrepreneur. I have a brick and mortar business as well as an online business. I was a group or retreat travel specialist specializing in girlfriend getaways. I did that for roughly 3 years, and last year I officially decided to end that business and go into just mentoring. So while I still have my brick and mortar business, my husband and I have a tattoo shop in Orlando, Florida, which again is about 12 years old, and it is again service-based, right? We sell our art services. And now I sell my mentoring services. I do have a lot of value in that I give away so much. But what I really want to impress upon you is that I know the struggle. And not because I've been doing it for so long, but I feel like I've really cracked the code and made it through to the other side. And I really have confidence pretty much to run any business or start any business. And in fact, that's something that I'm continuing to do today as I launch a third brand. Very soon, I'm sure you'll hear about it. So I know that it takes more than creating a successful business to have the skills that I believe that we need to have in order for me to be of service to you. So I realized very early on in my career how amazing online marketing was because I accidentally stumbled into it. Because somebody reached out to me and offered me some amazing opportunities on social media, I was really able to grasp why I'm spending time there. It wasn't a time suck for me, and I wasn't sure why it happened or how it happened the way it did. But before I knew it, I was selling out 7 retreats a year, and I helped almost 700 people travel on these really amazing co-created sojourns that I started doing with doctors, yogis, and authors. They just happened to be the people that I went to. And I was making a bundle of money. So that led me into creating a course called Get Noticed Online Now, which is an online marketing course that shows you the system that I use. But again, like I said, just because I received success doesn't mean that that qualifies me. I did go ahead and I've obtained many certifications, including I'm a certified high performance coach, an advanced law of attraction practitioner, I'm a meditation and tapping coach. I have been certified as an online marketing master, and actually I'm saying that, but really I'm still waiting for my grades to come back from my last 3 certifications that I finished about a week ago. But all of that's exciting, and what I've done in there is I've actually taken content training, email, social selling, paid traffic, conversion funnel mastery, all these amazing courses that now help me truly understand how it is you take someone virtually on the journey from becoming someone who's interested in your business to a buyer. And everything else that I've done has really helped me just raise the level of my business so that I could show up as a mentor to help people achieve their personal business success. So that's what I focus on today. And what I do is I help service-based entrepreneurs and businesses reclaim their time and calm their chaos so they can achieve success without sacrificing their health, wealth, and happiness. I show them how to plan their work and their day, which is what I'm going to help you with today, so that you can do more. And I also show them how to turn their social media clicks into clients so that they can make more money doing what they love. This is my passion, my friends, and this is why I'm here today, because I have something important that I want to share with you. So let's dig in. And by the way, if you've been to my presentations before, you know I love this little picture of this person digging on the beach, because this is how I felt. And of course, it's really relevant to me being in the travel industry and literally feeling this way as I was sitting on the beach sometimes reflecting on what the hell am I doing? So before we move forward, I realize that we're all at different levels of knowledge, success, and understanding here. And towards the end of the webinar, I'm going to share with you how we can work together to really achieve your next level of success. So there are just 3 priorities, and we're going to talk about these each one by one and how we can manage them effectively, because I want you to start this year off on the best footing for you. So the 3 priorities that we have to focus on is marketing, packaging, and servicing. And maybe this seems very obvious to you, and if it does, my next question for you is, do you focus on these things? Really, what people tend to do is they're really good on servicing. They get a lead, they can talk to them, they can convert that person into a client, and they service the hell out of that client. But what happens then? What we need to understand is when you are marketing, you get your client, you stop marketing because you're working on that client, and then you move on. This is what causes those peaks and valleys in your business, and we don't want that for you. We want consistency. So let's talk about what each of these things mean. So for marketing, I need you to understand that this whole new economy that was created through social marketing really hinges on your ability to create connection and community. If you can do that through your marketing and through your words and the way that you reach out and post, you will have a successful business. All you need to do is be consistent, be clear, right? Clear in that message, and be concise. These are the things that we are failing to do. When we talk about the 5 things that, the 5 reasons why businesses fail, if we were consistent, clear, and concise, we would take care of 3 of those big problems, right off the bat. So we can handle all this through our marketing. And by doing that, we increase our opportunity and our chances to achieve the success that we truly desire. So how do we do this? What does this practically look like in every day? It means we create content. We create blogs, vlogs, podcasts, issue a newsletter, which I recommend weekly. If you've been around and maybe weekly is a scary thing to commit to, do every 2 weeks or once a month, but definitely let weekly be your goal. It's also about using social media as a tool and integrating your marketing process. And I highly recommend Facebook because it's the largest, most used. Is everyone there? Of course not. But with, I want to say they're almost at 2 billion users. I want to say it's 1.8 billion users now. They definitely have the widest and most commercially used. Not only that, they have amazing marketing tools for us. So if you're not on social media, really looking at any of them, I would encourage you to look at Facebook. I also love Twitter and Instagram. And Instagram is new to me. I just started building my Instagram following about a year ago, and I'm amazed at the level of engagement that's there. And last but not least is networking, in person and virtually. And I'll give you a little confession here, and a lot of you who are in the group already know me and know that I do not like to network in person. In fact, I disliked it so much, I decided to become a motivational speaker, because for me, it's easier to speak to you from the front of the room rather than the back of the room. Julianne, I'm sorry you're having problems. That probably has to do with, I'm sorry, I have somebody chiming in that they're having problems with sound. Probably has to do with your internet connection. Make sure everything else is turned off. That might help, okay? And if it continues, I do apologize. I do the best that I can. On this end, everything seems to be working well without any staggering. If anybody else is having sound problems, please let me know, and I'll see what we can do about that. I'm also recording this audio so that we can, I can attach it to the video in case there are audio issues, because it does happen when you're doing anything on internet. All right, good. Somebody else is saying to clear your cookies, and their sound is fine. So again, I have a suspicion, Julianne, that it has to do with the internet connection. But thank you for letting me know. I like to be aware of these things. All right. So the next thing we need to focus on is packaging. And packaging is really letting people know that all services are not created equal. Clearly, you're not the only one who does what you do, but you are the only one who does it the way you do. And you have to leverage that when you're sharing what you do with people. You have to let them know what makes you different, what makes you stand out. And what I highly recommend you do is you develop focused packages. Now, I know a lot of you in here are travel agents. I started my service-based business as a travel agent 4 years ago, and I've always loved having different levels of service. Right? So when you have focused packages, then you know what you're doing for everyone rather than kind of doing everything across the board or doing some things for some people and not for others and just kind of showing up when you feel good, inspired to do extra work, and then other times where you don't feel good, you don't do it. So it's really important that you know and have a checklist and understand exactly the service you're going to deliver to everyone. And that you institute a structure for the way things are going to work. Again, a lot of us kind of fly. We know what we want to do conceptually, right? We get a file, we, find out the details of what people want, we interview them, but then what's the next thing? And sometimes that's what looks different for everyone. And maybe you leave out certain things. Like for me, I always add I'll explain that in a minute. Somebody's asked me, what do I mean by focused packages? And somebody just said, that's them, right? They get it. They're kind of all over the place. I'll let you know what I mean by that in a minute, Judy. But when we talk about structure, is really having a way that you're going to handle everyone. And so one of the first things I do when I get a private client is I add them to my private client list, right? And so there's different ways. Sometimes they go on one list over another, and I might add them to a special course that I promised them. And it's really important that you handle everyone the same way so that you're not missing the opportunities to dot your I's and cross your T's without going through things 10 times, because really that's a time suck. And so let's go through creating the levels of service. And Judy, this is where I'm going to help you with the focused packages. You should always create different level packages. And this is for a few reasons. One is so that you can capture additional income, which are opportunities to increase your revenue. And the other is to really let you get creative. What it is that you offer. And so when I'm saying develop focused packages, it's really the packages and what they're going to deliver. So if you're going to do 5 services, right? I'm going to book your air, book the hotel, send your confirmation, get out the VIP letter, and I'm going to make sure that you get into this email series, whatever it is, that it always looks the same for that person. Let's say you have another person come in and now you're going to give them 3 reservations to their best restaurants that are in the area. You're going to give them a list of the restaurants near the hotel that they're checked into, or maybe it's they're traveling with kids, so you want to make sure you include activities nearby that they can engage with that are family friendly, that they can engage with their children, right? So these are the things that you really want to focus on. And so each of those would have a different package. So your romance package might have a different checklist than your family who books with you. And so when you're creating different levels of service, that's what you would put into those packages. And I know the next question probably is how do you create these different levels of service or packages that entice people? Well, one of my favorite ways to do this, and I tell my clients to do this all the time, almost at the very start, is write out 50 revenue building ideas. And this came to me when I was at another event late last year, when somebody said, write down 50 things you could do to make money right now. And so this is kind of the same idea, except it's 50 ways that you can make money doing what you're already doing in your business. So it's really additional things that you can do that you can put a dollar amount to, or that you can put them into different packages. And so let's say you write out 50 revenue building ideas, and I want you to really, write this down as a thing to do and actually do it. Trust me, it'll take you a couple hours, but when you do it, you're going to be amazed at what you pull out of there. And then put stars next to things that you're already doing for people. Then the next thing you're going to want to do is write a number 1 next to things that you want to add to your basic package or your standard service package, right? Which I call my elite. I like to give everything a nice name. And so just write a 1 next to that. And so then look at it again and look at the services that you said you can offer that you can charge a higher or a little more for, right? A premium rate. That's the word I was looking for. The ones that you can offer premium rate for, and you could put a number 2 next to that. Then you could take items that you can consider add-ons, like making reservations or helping people get their spa appointments together, right? These are things that you can offer where you're consulting, you're doing work, and you could definitely charge a fee for. And you can do those as add-ons and maybe not necessarily include them in a package. And you put a number 3 next to those. And before you know it, you will build out an awesome elite package for people that you want to be of service to, that you feel good about charging a service fee to. And then you have your prestige clients, which are going to be the people who want the VIP red carpet treatment all the way. You get their limo for them, or their private transportation, everything else. And those will be your number 2s that you charge a more of a higher premium price for. And then you have your add-ons that you can offer to people. So now all of a sudden you have this really interesting, diverse group of service packages where you can provide these options to your clients in a very predictable, organized manner so that they know what to expect from you. Not that every time you have a conversation with someone, you kind of change up what you do, which is kind of how we all work right now. Okay? Another way to do this is to do research. Simply ask your question, or simply do what they ask you to do, right? So, of course, people, while you're talking to them and you're drawing up what you want to do to help them during your conversation, they're going to mention a few things that they want. So give them what they ask for. Start providing it in packages and start being more creative with how you package things so that you feel good about charging premium rates for your services. And then also take a look at your competition. Take a look at what other travel professionals or other people or experts are doing in your industry. This is always a good place to look because you never know what looking at the competition is going to inspire you to create in your business. And I'm not talking about copying here, so I just want to be clear. What I'm talking about is inspiration. I'm always getting ideas, not only from within my own industry, but venturing out and looking at others. And I encourage you to do the same. All right. So next we talk about servicing, and right, this is the 3rd priority. And here's where you really want to differentiate yourself from the masses. Again, always proving that they need to hire you for your expertise, for the amazing value that you bring. So I have a question here, and Judy's saying, how do you know what the competition offers? That's going to take some research. You need to go in and start Googling travel professionals, travel agents, and take a look at their service plans and see what they're offering. And that's how you can discover what the competition is doing. You can also take a look at the really big travel websites and see what kind of packages they're offering. So definitely do some research. Google and Facebook are my 2 favorite places to do research. I would use those as resources. Okay, so let's talk about servicing and differentiating yourself from the masses. You always want to make a big promise. Now, your big promise will always come from something you're actually going to help people do. If you promise VIP treatment, you want to make sure that happens, right? You want to give them the results so that you really drive home what you're all about. And then you want to make it duplicatable so you do it again and again so that every single time they come back to you, they experience the same level of professionalism and services all the way through. So you just want to make sure that you're always cognizant that everybody who you are of service to, when they tell somebody, oh, she does this and that for you, that you're actually doing those things over and over and over again. So I call this transcending service. And so you might be saying, okay, well, what are the different ways that I can provide this transcending service? So the first one is amazement, is find a way to be thoughtful or to create a thoughtful experience, especially in the way that you deliver things. Offer an email series that helps build up the anticipation of their service experience, right? So that's important, is building up anticipation. That also is one of the things that help people get more excited, especially when they start looking at that credit card bill that comes 30 days after you build them, but before they've gone on their trip, right? So you definitely want to help them build up that anticipation. And then you want to deliver their travel documents in a way that touches the heart. And I know these day and age, a lot of us are emailing all our documents, but why not print them in a PDF and deliver them in a special gift box? There's just so many different ways you can do this, especially if you're making hopefully, right, you're making at least $1,000 per trip. Depends, of course, on your business model and things like that. But that was always my requirement. It was $1,000 a trip. And I would do my best to invest another 10% back in my client. That was just my rule for the way that I work my business. And then there's meaning. You always want to give your client an amazing experience, and they will share it. And I'm sure you've seen this, which is where they're taking pictures and they're showing them on social media to other people, telling them how amazing it was that you put this together for them. So remember to go ahead and make sure that you're always reminding them what their trip really means long term to their experience, their memories, right, and their quality of life. And then lasting, which is transcending service never wears away, which is also about providing it over and over and over again. So it's important that you make your system and your checklist so they can duplicate them. And so Julianne is saying that many agents do not charge service fees or apply the cost of a trip. So that is a challenge to overcome. And I agree, Julianne, it is. So then the only other way of increasing revenue would be to sell higher cost trips or more trips, right? And surely you will be receiving commissions from that, and that's one way you may be able to provide these extra touches to your ideal clients. All right, so we covered the 3 priorities, right? So that's marketing, packaging, and servicing. But you may be saying, all right, great. How do you do that? I already have 101 things on my list. Now, how do I make time for this too? And if you're like 93% of the population, you're running on automatic pilot and it's leaving you completely exhausted and busy, but without getting anything really done. And I want you to let you know that you cannot manage time. You can only manage your effectivity. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in just a couple minutes because I have an amazing plan that I call the flight plan. I'm going to help you put it together over the next 20 minutes or so, and then we're going to have an open Q&A. So the first thing is it leaves you filled with overwhelm, wondering, how am I going to make time for that too? It leaves you completely frustrated thinking, do I really have to deal with this now? And of course, it leaves you confused, wondering, what do you do next? And all of this happens because we don't have a strategy. We don't have a structure. We spend too much time between transitioning from what we need to do and what we want to do. And we allow our emails and social media to dictate what we take action on next. This is where the one-page business planner starts to come in. So you want to create a conscious strategy, right? And conscious, I mean that you're thinking through it thoroughly, not that you're just going by automatic pilot. You're creating a conscious strategy that is unique to the way that you want to work and to your business. And it helps you stop the busyness that keeps you from what you want most. That's why I wanted to share the one-page business planner with you. So when we're looking at the one-page business planner, it's a two-sided piece of paper. It is legal size so that you can write. But it's really important to know that you can always add more sections or categories to this. But what you need to make sure you do is keep it clear and concise, because it really does help you cut through the chaos. You want to think about the purpose of your business. Why does it exist and who do you serve? And you don't want to just know this theoretically. You want to know it specifically. You want to think about your mission, how you will achieve that vision that you set up for your business. What do you want it to look like in 3 to 5 years? What are your values, right? All of this gives your business the guidelines and boundaries to help you consciously build out the terms of your services. You know, Julianne brought up something important, as many agents do not charge for their service fees. What are some other ways you can recoup for the value of the time exchange? You also want to think about your goals. How much money do you want to make? What do you have to do to actually achieve your goals in your business? What are you going to be the best at? And again, I want to really hit here, be specific. There is one reason that so many people fail at achieving their goals, because if it's not specific and you can't track it, measure it, or follow it up, it really is just a wish. So I want you to be very specific here, and don't be afraid. If you want to make $4,800 a week, say it. If you want to make $20,800 a month, declare that, own it, and measure yourself every month. How close am I to that? What can I do differently to get closer to that? And then you want strategy. You also want to make sure in here that you're including your plans for your marketing and your customer service. And assignments. Now, when I'm talking about assignments, I want you to think in terms of roles that either you need to fulfill or you're going to have people come on board later. If you're like me, I have to say I'm a bit of a control freak. I only have a part-time in-house assistant and a part-time virtual assistant because I'm very hands-on in everything in my business. Yes, I am a little bit of a control freak, but that's something that I like about myself, and I don't want to change it, because if I did, I would. But think about that. So if you hate managing your marketing, maybe in the future you have somebody come in who does that. But what I want to encourage you to do is build out job descriptions, so as you shift roles, that you know what you want to be doing while you're in those roles. And then when you hire someone, it's easy enough to print out those job descriptions, say this is what you're going to be in charge of, okay? So again, all of this just makes it easier for you to think on a global level about your business, because so many times we're too close to it that we're not getting the perspective that we need. And last but not least, you really want to hone into the value. What is it that defines you and sets you apart from the competition? And what are the services you are offering that are unique to you and your business? Again, you want to seriously think through this stuff. And when you have all this down, I'm going to tell you, creating strategies, thinking through your marketing, thinking about your clients and how you can touch them and how you can provide transcending service becomes so much easier, because you're in touch with the true message and structure of your business. Then we turn it around and we take a look. And this side is all about focusing on developing the strategy and an opportunity to take a deeper dive into the practical functions of your business, right? So everything in the front was all kind of philosophy, things we want to do. This is where we actually make up the step-by-step plan to do it at a high level. First of all, you want to think about your partners. Who are the key partners, suppliers, and resources that you have access to? And what functions do they help you perform? Then you want to think of execution. And what must you execute to deliver the value that you promise. Now, this could be as easy as an email. This could be as simple as an autoresponder, social media, right? Conversion programs or apps to turn videos into audio. Just things that you need in order to execute your services. Could include contracts, recordings, forms. Then you want to look at the resources that you have available to you. You want to look at the distribution channels to deliver the things that you want to give them, right? So you talk about social media, blogs. This may also include some promotional ads. And then, of course, the services, right? The meat and bones of your business. What are your customers' needs and how are you servicing them right now? And this is where it comes in really handy if you are charging service fees. But like Julianne said, so many agents are not. And if you're not, you still need to figure out ways to increase your revenue. So if it is creating boundaries and rules around the type of travel you're going to plan, that's something you need to take a look at. Client relationships. Are you developing relationships with your clients? And this could be as simple as sending out a weekly newsletter I touched on before. That's in our marketing, remember? See, this is how it all starts to tie in. It feeds back to what you want to accomplish. And gifts, what kind of gifts can you give them? And I see the challenge. If you're not charging fees, you need to get really creative with the gifts that you create if they're only booking low cost or budget travel. And you have to say, okay, so if somebody books a trip with me and I make a $3,500 commission, how much of that would I give back? How much could I give back? Okay, so there's different ways of thinking this through so that you can truly not only be of service, but develop close ties and relationships with people that you want to serve. And then you think about your marketing, right? Your emails, the ads. You're going to take a look at how you are acquiring new leads and what's working and what's not. Again, we don't want to stay too long in that dysfunction. You want to make sure that you're consistently building your reach, because then you have more opportunity to convert somebody that you reach into a lead. And when you have that lead, now you have a better opportunity to turn that lead into a client. And then you want to look at your client segments. So if you are somebody who's been mostly servicing families and you want to go into romance travel, that's something that's definitely achievable because you're already speaking to the moms and dads. You can tell them, when's your anniversary? Take that date the next time you're doing a trip for them and make sure you plant the seed 3 months in advance for them to do that. See, so there are so many different ways for you to look at this. And I will tell you right now that going to your current list is always less expensive than trying to build your list in order to increase your revenue. So you definitely want to be consistently making offerings to your current clients, the people that you're already servicing, and offer them opportunities to engage you in different ways like that. Family travel now is romance travel, if that's something that you're comfortable with. And of course, you want to take a look at your costs and expenses because they have a huge impact on the money that you make. If they're really high, of course, they're eating into more of your revenue. So you want to be careful there and you want to take a good look at them and you want to know what they are. And I'm going to tell you that this is the #2 challenge in my business beyond getting people to really market themselves as a mentor is getting them to take a look at their numbers. So make sure you know what it's costing you to do business. And last but not least, you want to be very clear about your revenue streams, all of the different ways you make money. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret because I love doing this and it was a big revenue generator. And what it actually helped me do is just pay for my marketing, which was I created and sold little ebooks about different destinations and sent them out and charged $5 for them. They didn't take me a lot of time and I love to write. And it was just a great way for me to be of service to people who were not hiring me, but interested in what I had to say. And oftentimes it did lead to the client or the group booking that I asked for, which I did right within my book. So that was a revenue stream that I had. I also charged people $1,500 to do their group events in advance. and I charge group fees, and, and I know there's a lot of different opinions, I will say, about the comfortability about doing this within your business in the travel industry, but I have to tell you, it's something that I fully embraced and jumped on right away. And I don't know that I would have stayed in the business if I couldn't. So this was a big part of my business model, and I respect anybody who disagrees with that, and I'm okay with that. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of mention it. All right. So know that using this one-page business planner is the difference between surviving and thriving in your business, right? We all know you want to make more money, you want more clients, you want to build the list, and you want to hire some help. But knowing that is staying in survival mode. You want to get really specific. You want to thrive by setting specific goals. Say, I want to make $4,800 a week. I want 300 clients a year. I want to add 500 names to my list over the next 3 months. I want to hire an organized person too, right? And then fill in the hole, fill in the gap or the blank. You want to know specifically how people or how you want help. And you want to know specifically what it's going to take, because you want to create a clear picture of what success in your business looks like. And I think that is the big problem here. A lot of us don't know what success in our business looks like. So once you have your annual calendar, you might be like, great, now how do I make all of this actionable? Okay, so this is what I'm going to walk you through very quickly now. First of all, you're going to create a monthly calendar and literally just print out a calendar from someone, a blank calendar if you want. And then you're going to take your annual goals and break them down into monthly goals. The next, you're going to take a look at your months and literally just take a sheet of paper and write out the months of the year on it. And then write within each month, what part of your project or plans are you going to start to take action on? And then you put everything in that you need to do and you want to do. Now make sure you leave time for vacations, celebrating special holidays and birthdays, anniversaries. Be respectful. You are the priority. If you are the machine or the cog in the machine and you break, everything breaks down too. So make sure the least you do is give yourself the time that you deserve. And then you put in the actions you're going to execute each month to achieve your goals. Okay, so this is, again, just on a monthly planner. Just look at it, 12 months. Then you take that out and you go to a weekly calendar. And then you look at your weeks. You put in what you need and want to do, because, of course, we all have commitments, responsibilities, and obligations. And I'm not going to take that away from you, but they don't fill up all of your time. And just because you need to go to the doctor in the afternoon doesn't mean you can't do anything in the morning. It doesn't mean you can't do anything after, if you want to take your business to that next level. Too often people are just like, oh, I can't do it that day. I have a doctor's visit. Well, what time's your doctor's visit? 2 o'clock. And it's like, well, this appointment's at 11. And it's like there's a disconnect there. When you are an entrepreneur, you must absolutely decide what are your hours of work, and then create boundaries and honor them. Honor them, just like you would do as if you worked outside your home. Your business deserves it, because this is the vehicle you have chosen to help you achieve big things, right? That freedom that you crave, the abundance. And then looking at your monthly calendar, start to put the actions you will take to achieve your goals, right? So what that looks like is, let's say it's January. You said, I'm going to get 3 new clients and book $10,000 in travel. Hopefully you're booking $100,000 in travel. And now you take a look. Now you move that into your weekly calendar. So that means this week I want to sell about $25,000 in travel and I want 1 new client. How am I going to get the rest of this business? Let me send out an offer to my email list, right? It gets you thinking about how it is you can start achieving your goals. And these are the action items you will start to actually block time to take care of in your daily agenda. See how one leads into the other? Then you're going to look at the things that you plan to do that week. And then you're going to block time to do that, literally creating a scheduled block of time. And then you're going to take action when it's time to take action. This is about being committed and inspired. by what you want to achieve. I highly recommend that you pick 3 really big goals that you want to achieve in your business this year and put them up on a board so you can look at them every single day. And then whenever something comes up that you really don't want to do, you take a look at your goals, and hopefully those will inspire you to keep moving forward. Then if you need more time, then schedule more time. You know, one of the worst things we could do is to block 2 hours for something that's really going to take us 6. And then we take the 6 hours to work on them, and now we feel completely lost and overwhelmed because we blew off the whole afternoon, everything else we had planned. Definitely honor the block of time, shut down the project, and schedule another day to work on it. Don't try to push through, because all that does is push you back on all the other things that you wanted to do. So together, right, the annual, the monthly, the daily agenda is what I call the flight plan. And not only do I use it, my clients use it too. And this is how I manage my business, my personal life, create so much content, travel over 10 times a year, and I still achieve my goals. And I will tell you, sometimes they take a little longer to achieve, but that's okay. This doesn't mean you're not flexible. You definitely want to stay flexible. So why do you do all this? You do it all because it makes a difference between surviving and thriving through your days. You want to have quality of life. You want to create a business that your life loves and not get to a point where it's driving you nuts. You want to do this because because you can't get to where you want to go until you know where you want to go specifically. You know, again, we all know we want to make more money and get more clients, right? And have more abundant and fabulous lives. But what does that mean? And you also want to do this because you deserve to achieve the success you desire without sacrificing your health, wealth, and happiness. And I tell you, if you achieve success and you still don't feel good, it's because you have sacrificed more than you were willing to pay to get there. So, for success, we focus. We focus on our marketing, our packaging, and our servicing. We think through our goals consciously. We don't fly by the seat of our pants. And we make a practical, strategic plan of action, one step at a time, just like I did. You take the annual goal, break it down to a monthly goal, break that down to a weekly goal, break that down to a daily goal. Don't think of projects at the very high level, especially when you're putting them in your calendar. Because what happens is it feels overwhelming. It doesn't feel good, and you don't want to work on it. You might be asking yourself, great, how do I do all this? And if you're like me, you want something that's easy and more effortless. So here's some do's and don'ts as you move forward. Do look at your plan every quarter. Don't think because you looked at it one time at the beginning of the year, it's done. Because we deviate from the plan all the time. And here's another issue, is that we evolve as people, right? We go to the next step. So if that's you, don't think that your plan is going to be static or perfect. It never is. Definitely take a look at it about every 90 days. And then don't overplan, which is what we tend to do, right? We only have a certain number of hours in the day, but we tend to think we're going to do 24 things in that time. It can't happen. So that's why I always recommend you block the actual time on your calendar so that you don't overplan. You only allow for what you can actually achieve in a day. But do schedule your days. I would recommend you schedule roughly 3 hours of your work day. And if you work less than 6 hours a day, then I would recommend you schedule about 50% of your day, and you leave the other 50% open to take care of whatever emergencies or issues that come up. And then don't get discouraged. Please don't get discouraged. Anytime you find yourself off path or really, taking a look at things from one moment to the next and you notice you're not moving forward, just start again. Just come back here, start again. Look at your one-page business planner and say, okay, what do I really want right now? Do I still want these things that I wrote? Because if you're not doing it and you're not inspired to move forward, there's a reason. And maybe each time you do it, you gain more and more clarity. Okay? And then do have patience with yourself. You have to remember, life is a journey. When you reach that final destination, you're, 6 feet under. So you don't want to wait till something fun or exciting happens. There's this ultimate time where you actually get to enjoy the journey. Enjoy it all right now. Honor all the struggles you have because they have led to the successes. All roads lead to where you are today. And without you being here, what would have happened? Right? We don't want to think about these things. But it's important that you understand how all of this relates back to your success, because the success you are achieving in your business is a direct reflection of your commitment